Yeah, when you're so close to the work and it's hard to understand what's wrong with it. Even sometimes be like, oh, I feel like this is offensive and I don't know why. And someone else can just point it out. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, cool.
Oh, yeah. Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode of Drink with Owen. It is the season 1 finale today. That's right, we made it. But don't worry, we'll be back very soon with season 2. Joining us today, we have the wonderful Annie Louey, a very funny person. She is a comedian, a presenter, marriage celebrant, and you can also hear her on Joy in 94.9 in the mornings with Ando. Ando will be on soon, so don't stress about that. There's so much to talk about, so let's get into it.
Hello.
Hey Annie, welcome to Drink with Owen. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you going? I don't think I've ever seen you without a hat on.
Oh, right, yeah, I should wear my hat.
No, don't be ashamed. It's totally fine.
yeah, I'll go get the hat. What have we got as our drink for today?
So it's called an Oolong-Hai, and I was introduced to this drink when I was in Japan, and you can order it at a cocktail bar, and it's pretty easy to make. So on the way out, this was probably the last time I went was maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and when I was leaving, I just went to one of their stores that's 10 levels of just random stuff, and there's always one level that's all alcohol, another level will be stationery, and it's all combined.
Yeah.
I grabbed a bottle of this this sochu is the main ingredient in it, so that's the alcohol, and it says 25%. So I think that's not vodka's kind of strong.
Yeah.
But I also enjoy drinking tea as well. I'm a tea and coffee person, so the oolong is the tea that's going in it.
Yeah, right. All right, let's go. Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, it's got a sweet kind of taste. Yeah.
Yeah.
The alcohol's definitely coming through. I don't know if it's meant to sit together or if we're supposed to stir it with a stick or something.
Yeah, it's hard to know if it's strong enough because I don't know what it tastes like.
Yeah.
I'm is that the tea or is that the other stuff? So you got this, 3 or 4 years ago? So was that right? Obviously, not drinking it every weekend then? Or
no, it hadn't even been opened till today, and I'm pretty notorious for keeping nice things, and then usually they all go off and I get sad. But with alcohol, it's okay. So, but most alcohols anyway get better or stay the same. So, I'm not that concerned. But I think I get that from my mum as well. We'll gift her nice stuff for Mother's Day, and she'll still have robe in their original packaging, a silk robe or nice slippers and things. That she goes, no, that's too nice to ever use.
It's too nice to use. I've got this. Remember when these came out? The skull.
Yes, and who's the face of it? Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah, he signed this one. He's actually signed it.
No way. Have you bought that off the shelf?
Yeah, when I used to work at Costco for a small period, he came and signed all the bottles.
Oh, that's amazing.
So, as you do,
yeah.
So this just sits on my shelf, this one. I'll have to drink it one day.
How much do you think it's worth if you were to do Antiques Roadshow on that?
Oh, I doubt, let's be honest, he was at Costco. It's not exactly like it was a very, no one there. It was literally hundreds of people queuing up getting the exact same bottles.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Maybe one day.
They're known for doing things in bulk.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the signatures are in bulk. Annie, we can hear you on Joy. You're also a comedian and a presenter. How did you get started in comedy, I guess, and how long have you been doing it for?
Yeah, I first started when I was 16, and I did a competition that the Comedy Festival runs called the Class Clowns competition.
Yep.
And I thought, just give it a go. And now they've got this huge program that's really great that they go to schools and they teach comedy. But I signed up as an individual because I think I'd seen the ads, and I went to the national finals to watch. And I was like, I can do that, because the winner was a guy named Neil Kolhatkar that year. And I secretly thought I reckon I'm just as funny. So I signed up and ended up going all the way to the national final and got the rush of being on stage at the Melbourne Town Hall. And then after that, there wasn't many places to gig as a kid, and my parents certainly weren't going to take me to any bars and pubs so that they could get my child's going to get brainwashed and want to be an actor or whatever. So into the scene after high school, did a few open mics, but it wasn't very supportive back then. There weren't a lot of women, and still not that many Asian women on the scene in Melbourne. So it was really a matter of figuring out that I had to stay in it for the long run. And over the years, I've done, I reckon like close to 400 gigs now.
Yeah, wow.
So yeah, after all that experience, I just know that you have to persist and it's all about showing up. So yeah. I've gone full time now for the last, this is my second year of running this as my full-time job. And it's going pretty well now. So I'm super happy that I stuck it out.
Making it your full-time job, was that like a big sort of mental thing as well?
Yeah, I think it helps when you feel like no other option. So having a job that you don't particularly like is really good too, because it gives you that motivation to go, fuck it. Am I allowed to swear on this pod?
Yeah. I'll believe it all.
Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah, I was just like, fuck it, I'll just give it a shot because what have I got to lose? And for me, the money wasn't important anymore. I just wanted to be satisfied.
Enjoying yourself.
Yeah, the work that I was doing. So, yeah, it's definitely a pay cut because I was working for the state government, but now the freedom of being able to figure out, this ignites a fire in me that nothing else compares to. And even radio, it's great, but there's no immediate connection with the audience because they're all listening in their cars or on their phones and being very anonymous. So that instant rush of people laughing, or if it's not funny, you'll be able to tell. Like, I've tried lots of other jobs, but nothing really makes that feeling come alive in me as much as live stand-up comedy.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I know you were prepped for a big comedy festival run this year. Obviously that was stopped with COVID. So how did that sort of affect you and how have you gone about it?
Yeah, we were the first to be affected back before even everything got shut down. So I think the Grand Prix went first and then we were looking to that guidance, like if that gets shut down, we're definitely going to go. And it was such a stressful limbo time when you're not sure if I should be spending more money on marketing and it goes ahead, or should I not spend money because I could lose it. So it was a big gamble, and I already printed hundreds, actually thousands of posters and flyers in total, which you can still see on my Instagram, and it was more than I'd ever done before, even though I often have said to myself, like, there's no use printing hard copy things anymore. But then they got me with like a Vista print.
You're like, I'm all in.
It was like, what, buy one, get one free if you buy 1,000. I'm like, yes.
Give me 5,000.
Exactly. Click, click, click. Yes. And they all, rocked up at my door and then have nowhere to put them. So I covered my car in them as a joke.
I did see that,
TikTok video. It was pretty devastating. But then I was freaking out, like, what are we meant to do in lockdown? What if gigs don't go ahead anymore? But once the reality set in, it's like, okay, it's not too bad. You just get used to it. And now there's a lot of benefits to not having to go out and gig every night and perform to 5 people sometimes aren't giving you anything, and I'd be doing that like 5 nights a week sometimes.
Yeah.
It's
At least
been
you
really
can do
good.
that from the privacy of your own home now.
Yeah, I'm doing it on a few Zoom gigs as well, which also has its own rewards and difficulties too, especially if people are on mute and not showing their faces at times. Like I did a corporate gig and they're not MCs, so there was a lady who was like, so normally we do trivia, but today we've got comedy. Here's your first act. Her name's Annie. Are you on? It was just so like, oh.
You're like, hello. Am I on? Am I on mute? Is my camera on? Can you hear me? Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
And you did this. You did a live show as well that came out. Was that last week?
I wouldn't have done the show if I hadn't have gotten the City of Melbourne COVID-19 arts grants. So it's a quick response grant for anyone who really needed assistance during this time to do a creative project. And I thought this show, because it's about a breakup that I had last year on the opening night of my comedy festival show, I thought it needs to go now. Otherwise, if I wait another year, it's going to be 2 years. It's not relevant anymore. I would have moved on. And I think subconsciously it's ruining my dating life as well. Like if it ever comes up in a conversation with a date, I'd be like, oh yeah, so I've still got this show I've got to do. It's all about what happened when I had to break up with my ex. So yeah, like, she's crazy. So I'm glad that it's on now. It's on, lives online, and anyone can go check it out whenever they wish. It's going to be on permanently.
So as I mentioned before, we can hear you on Joy every morning. Is it 6 a.m. now you're on?
Yes. So now it's 6 to 7 a.m. every weekday, and we used to have a show on Monday Drive, so it's been quite an adjustment to waking up at 4:45 every day.
Yeah, for sure, it would be early. So how long have you been at Joy for? Is this the first sort of show you've had with Ando? Or?
I volunteered for 2 years, and I started off as a producer. My friend Jacqueline Mifsud hosted Jack and Dean on Tuesday Drive, and they needed someone who was good at organisation, and she was like, yeah, come in and just help us organise the interviews. So yeah, that was really nice. I do know that my strength lies on being on air because of my performing background. So I started hosting music shifts, and it's all voluntary. So I wanted to get to know the panel well, and that helped. And then I was like, oh, well, I kind of know the ropes now, but I need a co-host to have a show, and maybe there's no one out there for me. I guess I'll never host a show. Yeah. And then Joy somehow just found me this person who they're like, it's a guy, he's finished the course. There's some summer vacancies, and we'd love you to trial a show before then. Just fill in for people who are going on holidays. So we did a couple of trials, and we worked really well together, instantly clicked because he's very energetic. We're both Geminis. We know how to poke fun at each other and have really good laughs. I thought this has been amazing. I think that's the one thing I've been super grateful for. The most grateful is probably my relationship with Ando, and being able to have a show now every day together. And we also talk that, we might be sick of each other and we need to look out for that because we're going to be in each other's face every day. Yeah. But so far, for someone I've met only maybe 8 months ago, to get on so well is a blessing, because
that's awesome.
It's hard to make friends as you get older.
Yeah, 100%.
Hard to make friends.
Like, how do you make friends?
I don't know. Are we making friends right now? I guess we're friends now.
Is this it? So you mentioned your live stream. You mentioned Joy. Is there anything else you're working on at the moment? Because you must be quite busy. There's a lot you've mentioned already. Yeah, I'm always busy, but I like to diversify in case anything goes down and you lose a certain stream. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, it didn't help because I did realize everything is still people-based, like everything I do. Like I'm a marriage celebrant as well. I've got 3 weddings to organise coming up end of this year and start of next year. So even that, weddings went down and were minimised a lot. So I've already had people have to postpone and things. So I can't really rely on that. But I've just been selected to be part of the jury for Melbourne Web Fest. So I've got quite a few TV series, but for the web to review. So they're all web series that you find maybe on YouTube, or the creators have put it on their own websites. But it means like sitting through many, probably maybe 100 or more, hundreds of hours of film. But that is exciting because I don't feel like that is my area of expertise, but they're giving me a go, and there's 8 other jurors who all work in the something
film
completely
industry.
New, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and I also said yes so that I can just sit down for a bit because I've been doing so much.
You're like, I'm working.
I know, that's the only way I know how to make myself relax is to work. The gigs might be coming back, and if they are, like, I'm ready, but I don't want to write any material that dates too fast as well, because you might not be able to.
Well, how about coronavirus, everyone?
Yeah. Yeah. So I did a gig last night, but I just did something that I wouldn't probably repeat again just for the fun of it. Like I played some games and stuff, and that was really fun. I just wanted everyone to have a good time, but they're already happy because they're out. I didn't really care. The standard was very low, which is great.
That's always good, isn't it? Yeah, like I went to the pub and I had a Parma and a pint. I was so excited. The Parma was cold, the chips were cold, but I was like, yeah, this is great. Like, this is the best time I've ever had. Each week we ask our guests for a classic night out story. Annie Louey, have you got one for us?
Classic night out. I would say maybe when I was like 18 and I first started hitting the clubs, there was a bit of drama that got stirred up with my friend, two of my friends, and one was insanely jealous that I had been hanging out with this other friend more during the night, maybe. And so it just became like a very frustrating evening. And I think I was like so mad that I went, stuff it, I'm just going to walk home from the city. And I was living in Brunswick, so it's like a 6K walk.
Yeah.
Not a good idea at the time. I mean, you know, when you look back at dumb shit you did and you're like, why?
Yeah, you're like,
idiot. Yeah, I was like, no, I refuse to pay money for a taxi.
That's another thing as well, isn't it? You're like, I walked home and then like the taxi would have cost like $12. You're like, what was I doing?
Yeah, but in my silly teenage brain, I thought that because I hadn't had a good night, it wasn't worth spending more money on. Duh. So
obviously.
Yeah, so then I walked home and then after about 10 minutes, the anger left and the fear crawled in. And I was walking near the cemetery, like there's the section around like Prince's Park, and I was already like shit scared. I'm like, I regret everything. And then this homeless man popped out of the bushes and was like, ah! Like, do you have any smokes? And I was like, ah! Like I just screamed, and I was like, no, I'm sorry, I don't smoke. And then I basically like ran home after that, which is still like 3Ks to get home. But oh man, that was a memorable night that I will not repeat again. I learnt my lesson. No matter how angry you are, just make sure you get home safe. Don't
walk through the graveyard in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Or if you do, have cigarettes for the poor homeless man. You get a good.
True. That's it. Always have durries.
This is quite good. Oh, there it is. That's the last drink spell there, Annie. So I had one sip before. So, of course, last drinks is where you tell me a great story, fact, anecdote, something strong for us to finish on. Go, take it away.
Something I miss a lot is going to do regional gigs, because the crowds out there are pretty different and they're usually up for a good time, especially on like a Thursday night. There could be a big crowd like there was at the Spear Garden I think I was in Bendigo at the time. And I was emceeing this gig and I commented on how everybody at the front was wearing thongs for some reason, and, you know, insinuating like a little bit of a nod to the boganism up there. And they were having fun. And then afterwards the bartender came up to me and he's like, I want to show you something. And he takes his thongs off, and underneath he had tattoos of thongs. And it was amazing. It was like the greatest thing. He was like, I got them done in Bali. And I was
that just adds to
the... Yeah, like I expected him to have a bintang singlet on.
Yeah, I was about to say that, bintang, yeah. He's got bintang on his calf or something.
Yeah, but yeah, that was so great. And I miss doing those gigs and miss having a drink with all the regional comedy lovers. So hopefully we'll be back on it soon.
Yeah, well, definitely. Hopefully everyone can get back to normal, whatever normal is, as soon as possible. But that is the end of our chat. Thanks for coming, is it? I can't remember the bit, but thank you very much for joining me. Yeah, I was trying to remember from your show and I stuffed it up and I was like, should I just pretend I didn't do that? So what is it, for those of you that haven't seen it? What's your friend?
My friend says how to get rid of men for good. You have to say, well, thanks for your time, but between well and thanks, you have to do a clap. So it really solidifies that in the body language. So you got to go, well, thanks for your time.
Perfect. I will end it there. Thank you very much for joining us. You can hear Annie on Joy 94.9. We'll put the details below. But cheers and see you next time.
Yeah, thanks. Hope you enjoyed the drink.
I did. It's very nice.
Yay.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.